Investing is for everyone. Everyone is an investor, whether you realize it or not. Every day you're making these little tiny investments of your time, your resources, whether it's your money or not. So we're all investors making choices every day. If someone asked you, what is the nature of investing? I would answer along those lines. I would say the goal is to take your resources, whether it's your time or your money, and put them into something that's going to be worth more in the future. That's the nature of investment. And when you invest your time into, learning a new skill, into education, those sort of investments will pay you over and over again. And similarly, when you invest your money into something, a business, an asset like real estate, you feel there's appreciation potential, you feel there's real value there, that asset will increase in value over time. That's the goal. Hey guys, I'm Justin, and I'm a financial advisor running a wealth management practice. And I wanted to start creating more videos around financial literacy. So you're going to see more of this. And whether you're just starting out on your journey with money or you're a seasoned investor, I hope there's something that you'll be able to take from this. Okay. So basically today we're going to talk about investing 101. We touched on what it is. And I want to give you a couple rules here to think about so you can become a better investor in the future. And then a few key concepts that you're going to want to apply anytime you're thinking about making investments with your money. Okay. So on our list today, of course, now the rules, we love the Buffett rules. We love value rules. We do like to invest for growth, but I think you can apply these no matter where you're at, what type of investments you're looking at. Number one on the list, when you're making an investment, you have to consider yourself an owner of that underlying investment. Okay. You're not just buying into a trend, you're buying into the business. If you're buying company stock, you're now an owner of that company. Okay. Proportionally, you're an owner, you're buying into the real estate. Of course, you automatically own that asset. So you have to believe you're an owner. Okay. Second on the list, give yourself margin. All right. So you want to try to buy in at a reasonable price and create value here. It creates a little bit of a safety net. So good thing to look for when you're making an investment. Number three on the list, make the market work for you. Don't work for the market. Fear of missing out is a big thing here. And also sometimes we think we can be smarter than the markets. This incredibly complex vehicle that is what we call the market is extremely hard, if not impossible to time. So don't try to time the markets. Even the experts, unless they get lucky, cannot time the market, okay? Number four on the list, don't be emotional. You gotta be objective. I'd say dispassionate. I think that's kind of a bland word, but you wanna be dispassionate, you wanna be objective. Don't let emotion creep in there. Don't let fear creep in, whether it's fear of missing out or whether it's just fear of losing your money. And lastly, you want to use rules and systems, okay? So rebalancing is a great example of that. And just have some guidelines for yourself when it comes to being consistent with your investing. All right, and you see my list here, top 10 reasons investing is powerful. I love this. Investing provides the opportunity to have more money tomorrow than you have today. It gives you the power to take control of your finances. You own interest in a business. That's powerful stuff. Compound interest, of course, it's been called the eighth wonder of the world. You can fight inflation and the erosion of your purchasing power. Investing can do that. Investing is for everyone and anyone. That's powerful stuff. Anyone can be an investor. It allows you the opportunity potentially to start a business of your own in the future if you make those good investments and build wealth. Pursue your retirement and other goals with confidence, of course. That's a big part of what we're trying to do on a consistent basis. Give yourself options and choices. And then of course, investing forces you to be a student, right? Lifelong learning is a powerful thing. Some key concepts you're gonna wanna consider as you go through and you start making your own investments. Number one, you always wanna set goals for the money you're deploying, right? For the money you're putting to work. You want to set goals for that money. What are you trying to accomplish? Okay. And then you're going to think about some key concepts here. Risk, of course, risk and return work together. The more risk you take, generally the more return potential that you might have. Now, this doesn't mean go out and just be a super hyper aggressive investor. You still have to be smart with the way you're deploying money. It's more about putting money into stocks versus bonds, the degrees of risk that vary between those sort of investments versus just being super aggressive. Okay, so risk versus return, time horizon is big. Do you have more than 10 years for this money to work? Or do you have 5 years or less before you might need to take money out, before you need to access it for income or some of your other goals? Okay, so those are big things when considering how to create your investment portfolio. When we start getting into actually creating an investment portfolio, you've thought about your goals, you've thought about your risk tolerance, you know what your time horizon is. Now we need to talk about asset allocation. Asset allocation is simply how you're investing your money between different asset classes. And we can think about that like this: stocks, bonds, cash, real estate, other investments, okay? When you talk to an advisor, typically they're gonna say stocks, bonds, and cash. But there are other asset classes where you can put money. So that's the asset allocation decision. How much are you putting into each one of those types of investment? Okay. And then we need to talk about diversification, right? So diversification goes a step further. You can diversify amongst asset classes. So how much money you put into stocks versus bonds versus cash or your real estate holdings. And then you can diversify within your asset classes, right? So there's any number of different types of stocks you can buy, any types of bonds. You can buy different real estate assets. So diversification works for you from that standpoint, okay? And diversification reduces the amount of risk you're taking. Because if you just go into one investment, one company, one real estate asset, you're subject to what happens to that one asset, okay? There's company-specific risk. Companies go out of business, businesses fail all the time. But when you spread your risk across hundreds of companies, that degree of risk comes down. That's the concept behind diversification. And to work alongside asset allocation to diversification, once you have that mix set up and you kind of know what you're trying to accomplish, you're a long-term investor looking for growth and you're building your portfolio, now you want to set up some rules around rebalancing, okay? So you might have your initial target, but certain asset classes are going to perform better than others over time. And so maybe once a year, twice a year, something like that, you want to look at your portfolio and say, how far have we drifted from what our target was? Do I need to sell some of these winners, put them into some of the other lesser performing asset classes? Or do I need to shift the asset allocation model a little bit to take advantage of opportunities? That's what a rebalancing schedule can do for you. All right, so I hope I've given you something to think about here within this video. Investing is cool. I want you to get on board with that idea. It's fun. It's not tedious. It gives you opportunity. It's powerful stuff as we talked about. So if you want to get into some more of the specifics, I gave you some general concepts to think about. Would love to hear from you. Please, if you have a chance, subscribe to the channel. Reach out anytime if you have questions. Would love to hear them.